And we're back. It's time to move into Act 2. We've got the champion at the very top, and the rest of the map looks vaguely like this. In fact, it looks exactly like this. Teak, what are your thoughts on this act?
I'm super, super excited. That's my first thought. I just really... There's something so nice about playing Ironclad with Runic Pyramid, because Ironclad struggles mostly, I think, with the core mechanics that Defect has mastered. Card draw and energy control, right? And Runic Pyramid solves one of them, at least in part, by giving us perfect consistency. We have full control over our cards. Complete deck manipulation in a way. And with Corruption too, I think it's going to be delightful to play. Basically, what we have to balance is, until we have Corruption live, the deck is actually kind of clunky. We're living in Act 1 still, right? We're on 3 energy. Once Corruption is live, the deck is a monster. Before it's live, it's our Act 1 deck with no boss relic.
It is worth noting, we are never going to draw past without being able to play it as a result of the Runic Dome. So the consistency of being able to play it early and also still being able to play draw despite the fact that you might not have the energy to play the card afterwards is in our favor.
Yeah, which lets us draw more aggressively, right? Yeah, so that made me think, so the big thing I'm thinking about right now is, I think my leaning is towards a left side path, and I think that's Rhapsody's leaning too. Some good optionality here, chance to take more elites, chance to take the empowered elite. And the big question in my mind is, do we hit this shop? And the reason is, we have enough money right now for a removal, but we don't really have enough to buy really splashy cards or relics.
Do we not?
So as an example, well, like a Master of Strategy. We can't buy Dolly's Mirror right now. And I would Dolly's Mirror Corruption now, given the opportunity.
Yeah.
Knowing that we have Toxic Egg and we want to be padding the deck with more good skills. We have a Dark Embrace.
Definitely makes it a lot easier. My pitch for the shop is actually not that. It's that unless I have my uncommon costs incorrect in my head, we would be able to afford up to an uncommon skill which is pre-upgraded. And failing that, we can still remove.
Yeah, getting a Flame Barrier or a Disarm or a Shockwave online looks really juicy, doesn't it?
Like, commons are even good. True Grit, shrug it off.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, we would be able to just buy the strike there, buy the strike remove, and trust that fights give us the cards. Okay, but I think we've determined that this merchant is high enough value that it's worth taking at, what, 120 gold.
Oh, we'll get a little bit more before we go in. Cop the 4 here and use the Carnage. We're going to want Impervious on a later turn.
Yeah, I think so. I think that feels good. Dork Embrace is here to play.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. Do you just double tap bash on this turn? How much does this fight cost us, right? We could go Dex, defend.
Yes. I want to go for a more defensive play here, and I want to use out as many cards in hand as possible because I don't want to choke the draw.
Get to Corruption. I like that line.
And then Anger Strike.
Dig it. Can you dig it?
Hey, that's a good film.
Yeah, I liked it. It's been a minute.
It was a film. We're talking about the Warriors at this point.
Warriors,
come out to play! Oh god, that rings in my ears in just the most awful way.
And then you spend the rest of your next hour and a half running through subways. So buckle up, Chuck. But it's a good hour and a half.
It's like it was probably because all of the media that's kind of like 70s, 80s, 90s. Well, not 90s, 70s, 80s, right? Like kind of turn of the decade. All of the media that I engaged that was created in those periods, I engaged with as a kid. So I engaged with Warriors as an adult, and it was my first time like appreciating that aesthetic without it being just how I thought films looked.
Right. That's interesting.
It was the first time I looked at it and I was like, this was a different period of time.
Oh, that's a really good point. I like Double Tap Carnage here, by the way. But I see. Either of them is very, very much winning the fight, so it doesn't matter too much. So this is very related while we're closing this one down, but I had a viewer who's from Alaska. I like Cleave. I like Cleave, actually.
For a little bit of AoE for some of the fights we need
it solves a real need, and it is upgraded, which is kind of delightful.
Okay. I'll admit I was definitely trying to hold out there. I don't hate this bash. Sorry, bash. Sorry, flex. Ugh. Stays in hand until exactly the right turn.
There's a bunch of things here which caught my eye. Armaments Plus is actually like not a joke.
Yeah, upgrades all the cards we leave in hand.
We have Runic Pyramid, which makes it much more consistent. Like card remove, I think Flex or Flex Potion either does a lot of work. Do we have Bronze Automaton by chance?
No, it's Champ.
Okay. Not so much for Champ, but with Bronze Automaton, Fairy in a Bottle becomes a real consideration. Although I think with Runic Pyramid, we don't need to do that. Yeah, okay, Ooh, I kind of like, you know, with Anger floating around and Double Tap, Flex really can put in a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. It's also worth noting that it is consistent setup for Limit Break, should that appear at any point in the future.
And it will. We're going to take so many fights. We're going to see it all.
Hey, is there anything to this forethought here?
Huh.
Make a whole 0-cost draw pile and then start exhausting cards with Corruption to draw through all of them? I don't know. When have you ever taken a forethought and been happy about it?
Actually, yes. And the situation is the like most easy to quickly describe situation is a silent deck that is decently good at block, but also wants to close fights with either Wraith form or something really expensive like Nightmare Spam. And that's the situation, is you have a really expensive card that you really want to play later. I could imagine an Ironclad deck doing this with Corruption. Right? Drop it to the bottom of your deck, and then when you get there, go ham.
Yeah,
but it's not,
or like
it's not a card that I'm buying very much.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah.
It
I
very
think
much...
Setup is one that I buy more often than Forethought, because Setup is frequently does what you want, but has kind of an immediate reward and immediate redraw.
Yeah, exactly. The speed of their activation is completely different.
For Forethought to be good, you have to imagine you probably need a lot of card draw so that you can take advantage of all those 0 costs for actual efficiency. Dude, I like this flex. I think you're right. I think this flex is pretty good, actually.
Now, if we take the flex, we could remove as well.
We could. But I really like this Arma too. Although, so here's a sticking point. Maybe the Arma's not as good because we have Toxic Egg. So it upgrades the things that are in our deck. We can already probably get the most important things here upgraded, right? We upgrade the Clothesline, the Double Tap, the Corruption even. And so then we've paid for this armaments, and every skill we take from here on out is upgraded.
We do have 3 midline, well, not 2 midline fires, as well as 1 end fire. And our fights are pretty good. We're not really bleeding that much. We've got anti-attrition in the Burning Blood, so we may be able to take some upgrades in those locations.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's go flex card remove, and that increases the saturation of the cleave too, which I think makes better. I like cutting a strike here. A basic
Still a strike.
Yes, and the reason is Corruption.
Okay.
Because then we're left with a deck that's just very efficient at the end.
I like it. Now, can I ever sell you on 2 question marks?
If you can describe to me the events that are the reason to take those question marks, then
okay.
Sure.
So we never get anything except for events in them. Right?
That's right.
We just went to a merchant. This can't be a merchant.
That's right.
Obviously, they can't be fights.
Well, they can be event fights. We could get Romeo and Juliet.
They can be event fights, and we like event fights. Gives us more time to set up for the Corruption, makes our earlier fight a little bit smoother. Obviously, if we get the Cursed Tome event, we could get Enchiridion, would be reasonably good. Nilri's Codex, pretty good, especially with the Corruption in the deck.
Am I going to get a chance to talk about why Nilri's is the single biggest increase in run length of any relic in the game?
You
Maybe
will,
later.
after I attempt to sell you on some of the other ones.
Okay.
The library gives us a choice of a bunch of different upgraded cards.
Yeah, that's good.
We can't take advantage of either of the people that want to sell us things. However, we could punch a urchin in the face and steal a relic.
True.
Necronomicon is a significant impact in this deck right now as well. Should we happen to
Apparitions.
get Apparitions? Oh, 100% in this position. Are you kidding me? We have Corruption. Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly am not sure if I take them. And the reason is that with Corruption, often you're pretty good at burst block. And max health for Ironclad is it feels weird to say that like Ironclad needs more max health than other characters, because every run is different. But Ironclad in my runs has most consistently been able to take advantage of max health as a combination of because of sustain effects like Reaper, and because of sometimes just needing to face tank the heart for a couple turns.
Now, Sneaky, I have to tell you, all the apparitions would come pre-upgraded in a deck that has Runic Pyramid.
Yep, that's true. That's true, and that is just unarguably incredible.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would.
We have to grow the deck.
I would click apparitions like hard. The apparitions also buy us the turns as we wait for corruption. We don't have to put much burst block in this deck. We can leave just an impervious and not use the
impervious and apparition. Yeah. Actually, that is. I think you're right. I think you do. I think you do hit. We don't take bites.
No, we don't. Take bites.
What about? Yeah. Okay, I think fights are quite good for us for what it's worth, but I'm into some events. Sure.
Now, the fights obviously also do have pre-upgraded skills. So, like, let's argue on the other side as well. What are we currently preparing for? 2 elites or an Emerald's elite?
There's a bunch of cards that we can find in the skill pool, which make those dramatically easier, right? Disarm, Flame Barrier,
Shockwave.
Shockwave. Yep. More impervious, obviously, is incredible. And also the scaling stuff, right? Like a single spot weakness, or how else can we? Body Slam actually is pretty incredible.
Yeah. Keep it for the right time.
With the double tap particularly, and with the corruption, like Body Slam is consistently 60 damage, and actually I would expect it to be 90.
Is the possibility of the Jax event anything to consider? Pre-upgraded Jax, it's some ability to increase our strength.
Pre-upgraded Jax is pretty nice. Okay, so the real way to decide this is what are we going to do after? What's our optimal path after?
I like the 2 elites here. Honestly, just for more relics so that we can find a little bit more of a base to figure out what we can do with this run. We also have a very late shop and possibly extra elite afterwards.
So the very late shop is one reason to try to take options which will optimize our money. And question marks in Act 2 are not giving us money very often.
They're a deficit of money often.
Yeah. And fights are a guaranteed amount of money. And I do think that taking 3 fights is the most consistent way to be ready to fight the double elite.
I like it. I'm happy with that reasoning. You've sold me, Teak.
I'm glad.
I kind of just want to defend and set up a bash on someone this turn.
Cool.
I want to save the clothesline for when they're about to hit me with the 2x16. Which is
They're surely going to die to thorns anyway, so.
Here's hoping. Oh, flex, double tap, cleave? That kills 2 of them.
Hey, wow, we can take a lot of them out of the air. We can take 1 of them out of the air. And we should take this one out.
Yeah, this one dies.
Yeah. We can take them both out of the air if we want to, actually, and we should. That's kind of wild. Four feathers is coming, Raps. 4 feathers is coming.
I'm not ready for the day. I don't think it's any of these.
I think we can skip here, yeah. Pommel Strike has a place, but I think we can skip here.
If we end up like hard whiffing on this side, it doesn't make the other side correct. We saw in the previous act, just the variance doesn't necessarily make the choice correct or incorrect in retrospect, but I'm gonna feel bad.
So one kind of micro point that I think is going to be consistently interesting for this deck is I like holding that turn 1 anger. And the reason is holding it, you want to play it before we get the redraw, but holding it for the flex turn and or for bash gets you a lot more value out of it.
I think at this point we just choose how we win, though.
Yeah. I think we can corruption on this turn.
It's just corruption, then shrug, defend, or do we go... I don't want to go for the single big impervious because I'm kind of waiting for the enemy to do their vulnerability and then attack to do that. Is that too much?
I think we can just play maximum block every turn and start attacking. Yeah. The getting Dark Embrace out for dazed further trivializes, but I think we want to double tap bash or something, right? or bash and then double tap clothesline next turn.
Double tap the bash and just go for it.
Let's go ham, yeah. Dig it. Too bad we didn't draw flex, but this feels like enough damage.
It's all good. There's a Carnage left in that deck as well. There we are.
Oh my gosh. Call. GG.
GG.
Oh, I'm good. I need to. There it is. That's why we took fights. That's the.
We found the reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Turn 1.
Yeah. Love it. And then hold the anger, and we'll do some crazy flex double tap cleave shenanigans. I think. Yeah.
I really want that double tap upgraded now that we're playing it for 0 cost a lot of the time.
What's the card that's stuck in my head now when you said found the reason? Hoobastank.
Yeah, oh, that's not a card. That's a song, Teak.
Yeah.
That's a whole ass song, my man.
Yeah. Oh, man. Did I call it a card? Did I say the card that's stuck in my head? Yes. Song, band. It's all relics, cards, bands, songs.
Yeah, I had a lot of good
It's all media.
Singing that on the old SingStar back in the PS2 days.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, yes. You know I got heavily into songs about Jane because I would sing constantly. She Will Be Loved. And, oh god, what was the other one? She Will Be Loved, and then there was the famous one from that track as well, Maroon 5. This Love.
Things with love in the name, if it's early Maroon 5.
Oh, it's This Love, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to just defend, like Dark Embrace, double defend, and just set up for a better turn later?
I think so, yeah. And we might even draw another defend if we Dark Embrace.
Here's hoping.
And then the turn is simple. Do we ever get...
Yeah.
What is our draw?
Just keep going.
I'm wondering if we ever play the Impervious here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Keep going. Just
do it,
use
right?
that, and then...
Because next turn we're going to flex, double tap, cleave, and it's going to be so good.
Mm-hmm.
I think we want to flex on a turn where we can play all the attacks out, it feels like. Because then we can get multiple kills, probably.
Love it.
The enemy will now die.
Flex, double tap, cleave through everyone. Okay, and then I'm just going to start cycling out all these defense. Actually, hang on. Do we want to anger before we do that? Get an angle in the next cycle?
Yeah. More mad.
Let's get even madder.
There they are.
Oh my god,
Look how mad we are.
This anger cycle is actually like a legit thing that we can do in a lot of fights, I think. It's a good pattern to play right there.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Ooh. I think it's Exhume. That's an Exhume. Do you know what Exhume does in this deck right now?
What does Exhume does in this deck right now?
It solves our Act 3 bosses.
Ooh. How's it doing that?
How wild is that?
The second Impervious or the second Disarm?
Disarm, like double disarm is enough to win Time Eater and Woke Bloke in most cases.
Do you agree with taking the 2 elites here before I click?
Yeah, because we've also deactivated Book of Stabbing. That's not the hand. That ain't it.
Chieftain, please.
But we get an okay clothesline strike, right? You know?
And you want to leave the anger still?
I think so, yeah. I'm loving this flex anger business.
Yeah. I mean, we can consider it like an explosive potion. A lot of people will tell you, you go into an AoE fight, it's, you know, Spire, Shield, and Spear. I imagine you've heard a lot of times, why didn't you throw the explosive potion at the start of the fight? No, you haven't heard that. Okay, so
oh, sorry, that was not rhetorical. I thought you were leading in. I have. Why didn't you just throw it? You know you're going to use it.
Exactly. But it's possible I'm going to overkill them by 10 damage, and then I had 10 free damage in the next fight, right? The last point you can utilize something is usually the point you should utilize it, if it gets the same value across the board.
Yep. There are weird situations where, you know, there might be block coming that you need to, but in general, damage is damage, whatever turn you play it, right?
Mm-hmm. I think it's Corruption, start defending.
I love it. Yeah. We can totally Impervious on this turn, too, if we wanted to.
We're about to be made vulnerable. I don't want to Impervious until next turn.
Sure. Just Exhume.
Yeah, we'll cop 3 as a result of this.
This is good. That's not bad at all. You know, this is one of the benefits of having 96 max HP, right?
Mm-hmm.
we can eat a bad first draw, but hopefully we don't do so often.
I'm thinking of an interesting turn here, Teak. Okay. We're not vulnerable. Sorry, we're not weak next turn anymore. So what if we flex, Exhume the flex, double tap the cleave, which we'll draw next turn?
Oh, That sounds awesome. Yeah, I'm into it.
Kind of like what I'm going to want to go for, but we're going to have to get Impervious Sanity first.
Who are you going to disarm? Should we disarm the blue one, actually, because of... Or Taskmaster? I guess it has the same effect on either. Vulnerable is what I'm thinking about here.
Exactly. It has the same effect on either. However, with the strength reduction on the Taskmaster, it usually lives for an extra turn, so sometimes it saves me an extra 3.
Nice. Dig it. We got pretty good block here. In fact, can we full block? Yeah. 35, 38. Perfect. Oh my gosh, our next turn is obscene. I love it.
Even without
Look at that pseudo AoE.
Even without the Frozen Eye, we've got the ability to have kind of like a Frozen Eye planned round.
It's the benefit of glancing at the deck, and it's one of those things that I try to explain everything that I'm thinking, when I'm playing Slay the Spire, but it's definitely one of the things that can get lost in translation, is what exactly did I see when I looked at my deck? Because you're looking at your draw so often, right? How do you feel about this Sentinel?
I don't feel bad about it. It makes it very easy for us to play Corruption and then play the Dark Embrace on the same turn and start going off.
Yeah, I think that's the selling point for me. I like this Orichalcum still, by the way, especially with Disarm in the deck and Weakness.
Yeah.
It will have relevant turns.
There are going to be a lot of early relevant turns where, like, we have a Corruption out but don't want to start throwing away a bunch of our defense and stuff like that, right?
It might just be Anchor minus for us in some fights.
Yeah. And Anchor minus is still good enough in a lot of circumstances. Do we want to just, like, focus on the 2 cards we want to be able to play?
Do you ever upgrade Double Tap now?
Ooh.
The aggressive choice for the elites that we're going into?
So if we had 4 energy, if we had 4 energy and could play the 2/2 costs on the same turn, I would be much more in favor of it. But the fact that we're limited to only play a 1 and a 0 or a 2 and a 0, 2 and a 1.
Well, we can play a 2 and a 1, yeah, after Corruption, right? So I think in most of the fights in the hallway, it's Cleave is one of the cards.
Yes.
Surely not being able to do like double tap, Carnage and Clothesline or Carnage and Bash feels limiting for single targets. I really like this double tap upgrade. I might ask you to just trust me on this one.
I trust you.
We're gonna see it. We're gonna see it. It's gonna put in work in these next few fights.
I'm ready to see it.
This is like, do we ever let Orichalcum be most of our block here and just do Bash Anger? Probably not, right? Because we want to draw forward and see what we see.
Yeah, I think we still have to draw forward.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, Bash Anger could just take out the Fat Gremlin for us.
Is this our Dex Potion fight or no?
We do have another elite right before the champ, and obviously the champ as well. How are we shaping up against the champ at the moment? How about that? We don't have really good scaling damage, and he just got to 420 HP.
I do think that I would be more confident if we found a bit more scaling on the damage side. We are able to have this like really big burst turn, and actually the core deck is decent at blocking, especially if we bring in that Dex Potion while we set up and get close to the point, and then we can do some like Corruption, Anger, Proliferation shenanigans with the flex.
Yep.
And it might actually be enough. This deck might be able to just kind of barely get there, especially by juggling the Impervious for those last few turns. But a single spot weakness would go so far. Okay. I think we hold. We have the health to hold, too. And once we play Corruption in this fight...
Well, I mean, now we get to defend more, right? Just Anger as well as the...
Oh, yeah. I agree. Killing the Signpost Gremlin here seems correct.
Perfect.
GG.
Only 2 damage taken. Woo! Disarm.
It begins. I think we at least single disarm Gremlin Leader on this turn.
We don't need to do that until later, and we get benefits from doing it later. But do we want to bash to just take down the frontliner?
I think we should bash Gremlin Leader here. We're going to be able to take down the frontliner very consistently by flexing. And I think that this accelerates our fight. Oh my god. We got to get back to that cleave.
We do. Oh. What if we just hang on?
Can we win?
I'm just gonna 48. It's not enough.
Oh gosh.
Can we bring back at the moment? Disarm. Okay, that's not gonna be enough.
It's so close, right?
It does give us the ability still to strike you and then Carnage on the back line, which is still really good.
Yeah.
If only we had another energy.
I know.
An energy relic is going to be very, very, very handy.
Well, it's just getting to the corruption, right? That's the whole thing.
So it is, but the more cards we add to this deck and the fewer of those that are corruption, the more we're going to have to play with her corruption.
No, totally agree. It's one of the reasons why you'll frequently see me take multiple corruption, even though they can't stack. It's just redundancy to get there faster.
Do you want to just...
Yeah.
Impervious strike?
Yeah. Agree. It's about to be over for these fools.
They are already dead and they do not know it yet. Take pity on their souls. Ooh, just double tap the Carnage.
Yeah.
It's just go time.
Sometimes the enemy is dead.
And it's important to think about that. Sometimes the enemy is dead.
Ooh, Dork Embrace? And then...
Dork Embrace and then exhume the Sentinel and just go off.
Start angering.
It is the end for you. I want all of them dead.
Nobody gets to leave. Ooh, Shuriken, we found our skill.
Well, all right. So
I think we should take
Whirlwind.
Do you ever take the demon form here? Actually? Real talk.
So I thought you were about to try and say, I mean, maybe we go Whirlwind instead on this one. But wait, are you like proposing the possibility of demon form maybe being something we should discuss, or is demon form your pick and you're suggesting it?
Well, we just picked up Shuriken, so this is like oddly a weird decision point. If we didn't just pick up Shuriken, I think I snap pick demon form because it trivializes the champ fight. It's just a single card solution to that fight, right?
Yes.
But since we picked up Shuriken, we already have built-in strength scaling, and frankly, sometimes Shuriken is more consistent, easier to use than demon form, especially with a double tap floating in the deck and angers. So the Shuriken is quite strong here. But I feel like maybe we still take it just to have that guarantee.
Can I share with you the thing that sells me on the Whirlwind?
Yes.
And everything you said so far is obviously relevant in the way I'm working around this as well. I agree. However, the fact that we have a turn, theoretically, of Sentinel exhume Sentinel, gain 6 energy, and then Whirlwind after a double tap is...
With some Shuriken online, do it.
That is an instant kill. We have assembled the pieces of Exodia in such a situation.
We kind of do. We kind of do. I like the left path here.
Oh, suddenly Teak wants question marks, huh?
It's thwack. It's thwack.
Yeah, thwackus. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh,
pen.
I think we can give up the next floor. I think
we always take this pen nib. Based on what you just told me that you want to do?
Yes.
Do you want that to do double damage when you do it?
I mean, double damage on the thing I wanted.
Yeah, that's twice as many damage as before.
Maybe. Disarm Carnage or Disarm Bash?
Yeah. No, Disarm Carnage is great. We save our Carnage. That puts them... The big thing that sells me Carnage here is something I've explained before, which is if you have achieved more than 20 damage across the 2 enemies here, Mystic always heals. So that's just a little AI manipulation in our favor. I got Orichalcum value there too. So that was sick.
So we did. I don't think we go for the double defend here. I'm more like flex, bash, cleave, just set up for the ability to kill the Centurion on a following turn.
Let's clothesline. Let's save a little life.
Right, yeah.
I don't think we struggle with this fight at all.
Do you want to leave bash? Want to leave flex in here for proof of concept?
I like playing it. I think you're right. I like playing it because we want more draw. We want to just we just get to corruption, right? And then we win.
But if we drew the corruption in the Whirlwind, Teak.
I know. Well, then we still get to play the Sentinel when the time comes. Ooh, we could...
Just freeing up the hands.
We wait. And now we wait.
I simply must prove that this is a thing. It's not like anyone's doubting it, but at the very least, I want to look at it.
There's a double tap in front of us, or is it behind us?
In front of us.
We could Dark Embrace and get to it. Dark Embrace, Sentinel, Exhume, Sentinel, double tap, double bash, double whirlwind, or doing double.
It was the next card anyway.
It's just madness.
All right. And then we Sentinel.
How would you like to die?
Double tap. Flex. All right. Now, if any of them, oh dang it, they didn't live. Ooh.
Burning Pact. It's so good. It's
Just
very good.
Faster to get along our path. I like it.
Yeah, and cleaning up.
Yeah, you want to just upgrade all these defense, or should we remove one? Strike. That would be. Consistency of the deck matters a lot.
What do you think? I
want to remove.
I think this is the time. I think it's time to remove. Yeah.
I think when we block, we already block mostly in abundance.
Yeah. Agreed. I don't do that very often. I love the whirlwind upgrade here.
Absolutely.
Especially because we're going into another elite fight. And we got good money this time. Okay.
Teak convinced me not to get a second whirlwind.
I miss the self-forming clay here. You have more whirlwind? That actually is not even that ridiculous in this deck.
It's not.
With a shuriken and a pen nib.
Certainly not.
It's certainly not that ridiculous. And we're like trying to get rid of... We're down to one strike. We have one cost attack. And the anger, which self-replicates.
As an X cost attack, it can also be played at the end of the turn to help us increment the shuriken.
Mm-hmm. What would we remove right here?
Honestly, at this point, probably a defend. A lot of the time, we're not playing an individual defend when we draw them and just relying on our Calcum instead.
I wish we could do that and remove. I also like this Havoc quite a lot, and it is on sale. You can play it pretty eagerly because of Exhume, and because we have a lot of these kind of expensive powers that we like to get out.
Mm-hmm.
And if you Havoc a Whirlwind, it's obscene because you get your full energy.
Whilst true, it can randomly target a Burning Pact to destroy something we're holding in hand, like possibly an Impervious for next turn. And Exhume a lot of the time doesn't want to be dedicated to saving the card that we otherwise lose. I think
when we play Burning Pact, we get to choose what it hits.
Oh, so yeah, it doesn't randomly target it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, cool.
Mm-mm. Now, if we add
an unupgraded
True Grit. Yeah, which we can't do. Yeah. I think you might be onto something with Whirlwind number 2, which feels weird. Hand Drill is good too.
With one source of vulnerability in the deck so far, is it ever Hand Drill?
Hand Drill is solid against Champ, who blocks a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's solid against the Act 4 elites. It's solid against Donu Deka.
It's not for the heart.
Good against Darklings, not so good for Heart, who does not tend to like to block.
Mm-hmm. I'm honestly like kind of most close at the moment to Flex and Whirlwind.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh hell yes.
I think this deck can sustain such a path. I love the response to that.
No time waited.
Let's go.
We have confirmation. We get to do it. Mom says I get to do it this time.
Do you want to double disarm on this turn and then laugh as the Book of Stabs themselves? Sweet dreams, my child.
Now I am the Book of Stabbing.
What's funny is that you full block every multi-attack for the next 3 multi-attacks without playing any cards. It feels really good.
We'll cycle back. Need to get some cards out of hand.
I agree with that play wholeheartedly.
All right.
Does it begin? Do you play Corruption this turn and like Burning Pact to strike? Let the Carnage die?
We have the Sentinel already in the draw pile as well.
It begins.
It begins. We'll strike. Now, is there anything we want to continue doing this turn with the Sentinel?
The one thing that I'd
Carnage.
like is to see you win this fight with Pen Nib at 8 or 9. Can you do it?
Oh,
I think you can.
Okay, hang on. So 8 or 9, right? So that would be only one trigger of a double tap. So if we had 6 energy on a turn and we have 8, it'd be 12 by 8 total. So that's 80 plus 16 is 96. And then the rest of it would have to be what? From blocking the Book of Stabbing, allowing it to stab me, unless we want to cycle again.
Or we get back to flex.
Yeah, or we get back to flex using the Dark Embrace, but all of that happens on later turns. So I think the first thing we do here is honestly just block.
Are we gonna end up playing Dark Embrace next turn and then do it the turn after? Is that might be the strat?
Yes. So, okay, actually, I'm gonna leave this. I'll leave this.
Okay. Getting good damage out of this, and because we block all the multi hits just with Orichalcum, that helps.
Why did I just do that? I forgot what I was doing. All right. Okay.
No, you can get there. Yeah, you double tap Whirlwind now on 0 energy. You got a full cycle. You got work to do.
It's okay. It's hang on, and then that, and then how do I use any more energy? Gosh damn it! Why did I do this to myself? Okay, and then double tap that whirlwind.
The shuriken is going. Choo choo! We're leaving the station.
I was just look 9. All right, Akabeko.
We're speedrun now. We full
bloodletting.
Speedrun now.
Do we ever want bloodletting in this? Just all Akabeko plans? No, that's dumb. No, don't do it, Ryan. Right.
Okay, but it's pretty hilarious. What if we get runic cube?
But what if we don't get Runic Cube and we have an opening draw that is just, bloodletting and a bunch of garbage?
No, it's not the right pick, but it is fun. It is fun.
I really want the other Whirlwind upgraded as well.
I agree. I agree. I need all of the next floor's hallway fights to die in a single card click. That's my preference.
Now, my goal here at this point is honestly just only use the Penib after we've set up the God combo.
Okay.
So just pop out a defend. Wait, just like let him hit.
Yeah. Are we gonna be able to do enough damage that way?
Sorry.
Are we gonna do 440 damage in a single play?
The
answer is maybe yes.
It may be. Okay, so 9. Hang on. The maximum is 9 energy as well as 8 strength, right? If everything goes off, and we can do that.
Yeah.
So. 8 strength as well as the 8 damage, 16 damage per, and then it's also got 8 from Akabeko, so it's 24 damage per, right? And that's all on the first, and then the second cast from the double tap has 16, so it's actually 40 damage per energy, and it's 9 by 40, so
because
it is short. Oh wait, sorry, the pen nib as well.
Yeah, we
extremely.
We can win this way. We can win this way. Yeah, we have to set it all up, but we can win this way, and that is delightful. That's hilarious.
Do we ever just have too many cards in hand and suddenly it's something we can't do as well? Too many attacks?
Do you want to cycle, like set up Bash right now and play Anger Strike, Bash Anger Strike on this turn? This is the smarter way to do this probably, right? Is cycle.
So what, like, should we double tap, double bash, double anger?
Oh, that's not bad. I like that. Yeah, we're gonna get totally choked here, right? We do have to play. I know. This makes me think that we can get rid of even more attacks. Get rid of that last strike.
Get rid of the
only whirlwinds and angers.
Let's free up some more space so we don't draw choke.
Okay, but we're still gonna do it, right? We're still gonna do it.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, good. I got worried.
That is still going to be the game plan the entire way through. Do not worry.
I worried, but I'm done.
Burn that though.
Okay.
All right. At least this way we have vulnerability on the target as well while we do it, right?
Let's pact.
So we're missing still double tap. That's the only thing we're missing at this point. So strike.
Oh, I guess we could. Yeah, I guess we could play out some attacks.
Burning Pact, one of the cleaves. No, that's then clothesline, cleave, Burning Pact, the strike.
Dig it. Maybe we'll be able to leave with Pendib on 8 or 9 again, too. Like, we're pretty set up.
Yeah, we get one more attack before we do the Whirlwinds if we want to do that.
Mm-hmm. Is this going to be like next turn Dark Embrace, and then the turn after that we win?
Yeah, Dark Embrace with the big block on that turn. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Hey, yeah, the enemy champ is over there bobbing up and down like he's in this fight.
We're not even going to be weak. No, yeah, there's a Solitaire. You, look, play in the corner for a while. The big boys are talking.
Hang out over there.
All right, we got it.
Mm-hmm.
Combos in hand. We use one attack now in order to make sure that the Pendib increments to the right point.
Perfect. Battle Cruiser operational.
All right. Lex. Sentinel. Zoom. Sentinel.
Oh.
Sentinel. Double tap. Goodbye.
Oh, man. Let's go. That's like... It's just speedrun strats. Yes. Yeah. Always. 100% of the time. Yo. Wait. Okay, listen.
They are X-cost attacks.
Do you ever? Is this the deck which is permitted to Snecko Eye and Runic Pyramid?
It is. It is exactly the deck that's permitted to do that because Whirlwinds are our main source of damage.
Or do we die in multi-phase fights?
Do we die in multi-phase fights? That is a good question, isn't it? So what do we do?
This is pretty madness compared to just like taking Runic Dome. It is pretty madness, but it is awesome because I'll say this. I have never, ever, ever, other than on a run as a joke, taken Snecko Eye Runic Pyramid because of how horribly anti-synergistic they are.
Yep.
And so to take that into a heart fight would be hilarious. To lose the heart fight with that selection would feel like such a throw when we've just gotten back to Ascension 9.
Let's think about the ways in which that typically lets you down and how those are already handled by this deck, right? So it typically lets you down by keeping too many high-cost cards in your hand that you do not have the ability to get out. However, all of our skills are 0 cost, and any of our powers, save Dark Embrace,
are usually,
they're getting a better cost anyhow, right?
Yep.
With the extra 2 draw we get per turn, our consistency of getting Corruption out in the first 2 turns increases ridiculously. Right, we see 15 cards over 3 turns with no extra draw as a function of normal draw 5 a turn.
As long as we can actually clear out enough cards for that to be true. We draw 7 cards on turn 1, and then unless we can actually play 4 of them, we draw less than 7 the next turn.
Yes, that is the issue that brings up is what if we choke on draw before we get a Corruption?
Yep. Which, like, I think probabilistically happens at least once.
At least.
At least once. Yeah.
I will say one of the reasons that I'm actually a little pushed towards the other 2 is just X cost. It's an extra
we get more value out of them anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, even if we don't play the Whirlwind with the double tap and all the flex and, all the works, right? We don't have to put the lots on this hot dog. Sometimes the Arcabeco hot sauce is enough.
I've just got to say, the fact that we just genuinely considered Snecko Eye Runic Pyramid is delightful to me. This is the definition of like the reason. You know how they say that in sports, sometimes putting all the best players on one team actually does not make a good team? This is definitely one of those cases.
Now, Teak, we're not out of the woods yet. I'm still considering it.
Okay. I will say I take Runic Dome over Crown here 100% of the time.
Yes,
because there are still more very good uncommon and rare cards for us to potentially find. We would like to see more consistent damage scaling for fights that are multi-phase or that take multi-turns. We're very good at doing 400 damage, but we struggle to do it multiple times.
Now,
right?
Teak, I will say, I'm looking real hard at some events next floor.
Yep.
Double Madness, just making some of our attacks 0 cost.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Pre-upgraded.
Yeah. Not so good with Snecko Eye.
Not so great with the Snecko Eye. You're right. This is where I'm leading as well. Thank you for finding it. It's that which of the things that we could get next floor want us to go Snecko Eye versus not.
Yeah. 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 If we went Snecko-Eye, I would be willing to take more corruptions. Like we would Dolly's Mirror corruption.
If we went Snecko-Eye, however, we could not become rich because normality could just kill us. Oh god.
Yeah. I think this is Dome. Okay. I think this is Dome, and the thing that convinced me that it's Dome is that it is going to be very common for us to only see the full benefit of Snecko-Eye draw once. Because on 3 energy, the rate at which we fail to play 4 cards is just colossally high. If we had boss swapped in the beginning and we were already on 4 energy, I'm not gonna lie, I think this deck can do it.
Yeah,
I'm serious, and that would be incredible. A hard kill with the I like want to get that set up now. I need that now.
I'd be definitely a lot more comfortable in that position. I have very many times taken a Snecko-Eye and just kind of not limped through, but I've definitely taken some lumps on Act 2 and then get the Energy Relic, and it's like, okay, suddenly I can play a 3 and a 1. I can play a 2 and a 2.
Yeah,
I can play all these extra combinations that suddenly take this. This is limit broken, effectively.
Have you ever had Snecko-Eye Runic Pyramid? It is legendary in how bad it is.
Yeah, I killed a run with it because I didn't think about it.
Oh, it's so scary. It's like, it's pure horror. It's 2 of the strongest relics in the game, and they come together and they just make a it's poison. But it's delicious poison.
Delicious poison.
You're looking at your hand of 3 cost strikes that you cannot discard.
I have I've also had the unfortunate pleasure of the Taskmaster in A20 filling my entire hand.
Oh no.
Yeah, just wounds and nothing but.
And Runic Pyramids, so now you just get to sit and watch.
Yep. So
hope you have a Mercury Hourglass and an
I
Orichalcum.
assure you I
A20
didn't.
too. Yeah. Yeah, you were dead. Okay.
That was the end of me. Hey, we'll see the end of this run in the video that's linked in the description down below. Hope to see you there.